Hey everyone, Melody here, and welcome to day 15 of 40 Days of Empowerment. Please find your way into Child's Pose, knees wide on the mat, and reach your arms long out in front of you. Take a moment to pause and connect to your body in this moment right now. Our mantra for today is I thrive. Lift your head up and walk your hands a few inches to the right, then settle back down, stretching into your left side body. Recognize any sensations that come up and exhale, release them. Walk your hands up to the center, then over to the left side of your mat, and exhale, release down. Peek underneath your right armpit and allow the right side of your body to open. Look up and walk your hands back to center and release into normal child's pose one more time. Activate your legs and shift up, finding tabletop pose. Stack your knees below your hips and your hands directly below your shoulders. Keep a long flat back and inhale. Drop your belly button to the floor, press through your hands, lift your heart and lift your head. Exhale, round your spine, drop your tailbone, and allow your head and neck to fall. Inhale for cow, lifting your chest forward, and exhale for cat, rounding your spine and allowing your head to fall. Continue breathing through a few more rounds at your own pace. Return to neutral with a long, flat spine. Walk your hands forward a few inches, tuck your toes, and lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Bend one leg and then the other, pedaling your feet to reach into your hamstrings and calves. Take a deep breath. I thrive. Look up and shift forward to high plank pose, option to drop down onto your knee, and slowly exhale, lowering all the way to the mat. Inhale, peel your chest gently away from the floor, and then exhale, tuck your toes and shift back to downward facing dog. Look up in between your hands and step your right foot forward. Take your time getting it there. Square your hips forward and then drop your left knee and the top of your foot onto the mat. Make sure that your knee does not float forward past your ankle and walk your hands up. Roll your shoulders back and down and gently sink into this low lunge. I thrive. Exhale, place your hands on the floor and step your right foot back. Downward facing dog. Spread your shoulder blades and push through your hands. Look up again, and this time, step your left foot forward. Take your time squaring your hips, and when you're ready, drop your right knee down onto the floor, as well as the top of your right foot. If it feels appropriate, walk your hands up on top of your left knee and roll your shoulders back, settling in a little deeper to this low lunge. Take a smooth breath in and exhale. Plant both hands down on the mat, tuck your right toes and step your left foot back, finding downward dog one more time. Look up between your hands and walk your feet up to meet them. Parallel the outside of both feet so your legs are gently inward rotating. And place your hands on your shins. Inhale for a half lift with a long flat back, and exhale, fold. Bend your knees and grab opposite elbows, allowing your head, neck, and the top of your cervical spine to gently hang. Take one more breath, then place your hands on your hips and come on up with a long flat back. Plug all four corners of both feet into the mat. Connect. Stand with your palms facing forward and find Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale and reach both hands up to the sky, and exhale. Bend your knees and reach forward, finding Utkatasana, chair pose or fierce pose. Squeeze your knees together and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift with your hands on your shins, and exhale, plant your hands and step both feet back, high plank. Squeeze your elbows into your midline and slowly lower down, halfway, then shift forward, rolling over to the top of your feet for up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look up and walk your feet forward to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, reaching through the crown of your head, and exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, and exhale, take a seat, Utkatasana, chair pose. Reach your tailbone back as your fingers stretch forward. Keep your knees hugging together, and exhale, forward fold. Gently reach your spine forward for a halfway lift, and exhale, plant both hands and step your feet back, high plank. Option to drop to your knees as we chaturanga, lower down and shift forward, up dog or cobra. Exhale, roll backwards and push back to downward facing dog. Look up and walk your feet up to meet your hands. Parallel the outside of your feet and inhale, halfway lift, reach through the crown of your head, and exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale, come all the way up, long flat back, reach your hands up and overhead, and exhale down through heart center. Take a moment to pause in Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, swing your arms up and over your head, and exhale, big forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands and step back, plank to chaturanga. Inhale for cobra or up dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe your right heel up to the sky, and exhale, stepping your foot up and through your hands. Drop your left heel down onto the mat, take a little hop if needed, and square your hips forward. When you're ready, bend your right knee and raise your arms up and over your head. Warrior 1. I thrive. Straighten your left leg and exhale. Plant both hands on the mat and step back. Optional chaturanga here. We will all meet in downward facing dog. As you're ready, inhale your left heel to the sky and exhale, stepping it up and through your hands. Take a moment to square your hips forward. Find your proper alignment and come on up. When you're ready, bend into your left knee and raise your hands up and over your head. Push through your right heel and straighten your right leg. I thrive. Exhale, release. Return both hands to the mat and step back for downward facing dog. Look up in between your hands and walk forward. Parallel the outside of your feet and inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Place your hands on your hips and come on up with a long flat back to Tadasana. Connect to your breath. We are going to flow through one full round of Surya Namaskar B. Inhale, breathe your hands up to the ceiling, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, reach through your head, and exhale, plant your hands and step your feet back, high plank. Chaturanga, lower down only halfway, then shift forward for up dog. Exhale, roll up and back, downward facing dog. Breathe your right heel up to the sky and exhale, stepping your foot up and through your hands. Drop your left heel down to the mat, square your hips forward, and then gently bend into your right knee. Raise your arms for Warrior 1. Reach through your fingers and sink in. Exhale, release. Plant your hands on the mat and step back, high plank to chaturanga. Take your time and go at your own pace. We'll all meet at downward facing dog. Square your hips and breathe your left foot up to the sky, and then exhale, stepping it up and through your hands. Take your time getting here, and when you're ready, drop your right heel down onto the mat and stand up. Square your hips forward, and then gently bend into your left knee and raise your arms above your head. Take a breath in. I thrive. And exhale, release both hands down to the mat and step your left foot back. Downward dog. Spread your shoulder blades wide and lift your tailbone. Slowly and mindfully walk both feet forward. Parallel the outside of your feet and step your feet a little wider than hip width apart. Grab opposite elbows and gently hang. If it feels right, sway from side to side. Allow the entire upper half of your body to release. Gently let your fingertips brush the mat and come down to lying on your back in constructive rest pose. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Pick up your right foot and cross it over your left knee. Keep your hips squared, gently pressing your right knee away from you. And only if it's comfortable, bend your left knee into your chest. This is figure 4 pose, a great hip stretch. Roll your left ankle, first one way and then the other. I thrive. Exhale, release your foot to the ground and uncross your leg. Let's do the other side. Pick up your left foot and cross your ankle over your right knee. Allow your left knee to fall away from you, and only if it's comfortable, pull your right knee into your chest. Wrap your hands around your thigh and breathe. I thrive. Take a deep breath. And when you're ready, exhale and release your right foot back down onto the floor. Take a new, clean breath in and exhale. Place your hands down by your hips and square your feet hip distance apart. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, lift your pelvis straight up off the mat. Activate your legs, your glutes and your hamstrings. And only if it's comfortable, lift your chest a little higher. Squeeze your knees together and continue to breathe. And release. Roll one vertebrae at a time down onto the mat. If it feels good, windshield wiper your knees from left to right. Return to neutral and let's do Setu Bandha, bridge pose, one more time. Take a breath in and exhale, lifting your pelvis straight up and off the ground. This time, if it's appropriate, walk your shoulder blades a little closer together, lifting higher into this bridge pose. Be mindful of your knees and squeeze them together like there's a block or a ball. I thrive. Exhale and release, slowly and mindfully rolling down. Windshield wiper your knees from left to right, and then very gently hug your knees in. Keep your tailbone down on the ground and send your knees away from you and then pull them back in, gently circling on your sacrum, massaging the lowest part of your back. Take this slow and work out any knots that might be lingering. If it feels appropriate, go ahead and do a few rock and rolls from your tailbone all the way to the top of your spine. Okay, take one more rock and roll and come to rest lying on your back with your knees in the air. Reach through your knees and grab onto your big toes, the outside of your foot, your shins, behind your knees or your thighs for happy baby pose. Keep your tailbone down and allow your knees to gently open. If it feels comfortable, slowly rock from side to side, welcoming the movement, and then come to a still, resting pose. Exhale, release. Hug your knees into your chest. An option, reach your arms up and overhead and gently let your knees fall to one side and then the other. And release. Find Shavasana, corpse pose. Stick a blanket underneath your neck or your knees. Allow your weight to be supported by the ground. Close your eyes and let your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. Our yogi quote for today comes from the Better Man Project. There's no such thing as being completely ready. You're never going to feel like you've got everything sorted and all figured out. If you get to the place where you're just a little bit more excited than afraid, that's when you go for it. That's when you go all in. To hell with playing it safe. I hope you have an empowered day. See you tomorrow. Satnam!